Rimuru Lumiel Angel of Void by Rimu_Kai. Dragon Eggs. Third person POV . The corridors of Twilight Valentine's factory stretched endlessly, like the veins of some cosmic titan. Crystal walls pulsed with gentle blue light, casting long shadows beneath the towering archways. Here, the heart of creation itself beat, a silent, tireless rhythm working to birth entire species. Yet even this AWE-inspiring place had grown boring. Almost 1,000 years had passed since the incident with the three-headed titan Ashura. Since then, peace had reigned. Twilight Valentine, obsessed as ever, labored to perfect the intelligent races that would soon walk the world: elves, humans, dwarves, beastmen, and more. But for the divine and near-divine beings who called this place a temporary home, there was little to do. And so it was that on this slow day, Veldanava, Lumiel, Orin, and Myra wandered the factory's maze-like halls in search of anything resembling amusement. Veldanava strode ahead in his usual carefree gait, midnight black hair flowing behind him, hands clasped behind his head. He grinned over his shoulder. "Oi, Lumiel, Orin, Myra, don't drag your feet. We're exploring today, remember? You say that like there's anything new to find," Lumiel replied coolly, golden eyes glinting beneath the galaxy blue fall of hair. He walked a few paces behind Veldanava, expression unreadable yet faintly amused. "The factory hasn't changed in centuries." Orin bounced beside Lumiel, arms crossed behind his head. "Velda, you get bored way too fast." Myra, ever smooth, walked with hands folded behind her back. "He always has. It is part of his charm, or his flaw." Veldanava mock gasped. "No, Velda Navasama. Not from any of you. Even you, Lumiel." Lumiel smirked slightly. "You told me long ago to drop the honorific. I've simply obeyed." Orin snickered. "Yeah, Velda. You're just Velda to us now." Myra added with a serene smile, "A casual relationship is more fitting, considering how informal your behavior is." Veldanava sighed dramatically. "I created such disrespectful children. Well, I suppose I asked for it." He laughed, voice echoing through the crystalline halls. Their conversation wandered with their feet. "By the way," Orin piped up suddenly, "I wonder, what's it like to have siblings?" Myra arched an elegant brow beneath her black blindfold. "Have you forgotten, Orin? I am your sibling, at least in origin." Orin huffed. "Not like that. I mean, I can't explain it. Like, brothers and sisters who bicker, but still care for each other." Lumiel came to an elegant stop, hair shimmering in the artificial light. He glanced at Veldanava. "Siblings, huh? Never thought about it." Veldanava scratched his chin thoughtfully. "I haven't either. Sounds troublesome." Lumiel sighed softly, voice laced with a rare, dry humor. "Veldasan, please don't give Twilight more strange ideas. Remember what you requested last time." Orin perked up. "Oh yeah, the living star pets idea. That was hilarious." Myra's lips twitched. "And thoroughly impractical." Veldanava laughed unrepentantly. "It would have been cute." Days drifted by like the slow turning of celestial spheres. In one of the grand lounges of the factory, a place adorned with velvet couches, floating light orbs, and intricate magical sigils, Veldanava sprawled lazily upon a large, plush couch. Across from him, Lumiel sat with poised grace, legs crossed, gaze distant yet attentive. At Lumiel's side sat Orin and Myra, flanking him like loyal guards or, perhaps sovereigns themselves. Veldanava eyed them with exaggerated suspicion. "You three look like you own the place." Orin grinned. "Well, we are the most stylish ones here." Myra added smoothly, "and certainly the calmest." Behind Veldanava stood Dino, Pico, Garasha, and Obera, four of the primordial angels and among Lumiel's closest friends. Yet despite their power and prestige, they stood awkwardly behind Veldanava's couch, uncertain. Dino scratched his head. Why are we standing again?" Pico pouted. "Yeah, I wanna sit too." Garasha's golden eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "Strange. I feel like we should sit." Obera's dark gaze flickered. "And yet, here we remain." Lumiel's voice broke through their musings, cold, calm, yet unexpectedly warm. "You know, the four of you are free to sit down." The angels blinked, startled. "You don't have to stand just because Veldasan is there," Lumiel continued, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Dino blinked rapidly. Wait, seriously." Pico's eyes sparkled. "Can we?" Garasha crossed her arms. "It feels odd, but liberating." Obera hesitated, then nodded. I will sit. Velda Nava watched this unfold, eyes wide. Wah, wait. Why are you all taking seats with Lumiel? Do I stink or something? Dino laughed nervously as he plopped into a chair beside Lumiel. It's not that, Veldanava-sama. Pico twirled gleefully into another seat. Lumiel feels calm, safe. Garasha spoke firmly. It is comfortable here. Obera added softly, relaxing. Veldanava pouted, arms crossed, a mischievous gleam in his blue eyes. Bad Lumiel. You steal everyone's attention while I get nothing. Lumiel's golden gaze shimmered faintly with amusement. What can I say, Velda-san? I'm more charming than the so-called creator god. Velda Nava huffed. TCH. You cheeky starbrat. Orin grinned wide. He is cooler than you, Velda. Myra added smoothly, and more elegant. Dino chuckled. No offense, Velda Navasama, but, yeah. Pico giggled. I like sitting by Lumiel. Garasha nodded. Agreed. Abera's lips quirked. It is pleasant. Velda Nava flopped backward dramatically, as if stabbed. Goo. Betrayed by my own angels. Lumiel's voice softened, playful. Velda-san, perhaps if you acted your age, you wouldn't lose so easily. Velda Nava shot him a mock glare, though his grin returned instantly. You win this round, Lumiel. But next time, I'll steal the spotlight. Orin piped up, smug. You can try, Velda. Myra's serene smile grew. It would be entertaining to witness. Velda Nava laughed aloud, a rich, carefree sound. Good. I like this energy. We may be timeless beings, but that doesn't mean we should be boring. And in that room, half divine throne room, half casual lounge, a strange shift took root. The primordial angels, once bound to hierarchy and worship, sat as equals among their kin. Lumiel's quiet humanity drew them like stars to a black sun, warm and dark in equal measure. Velda Nava watched, a glimmer of pride and mischief in his gaze. Hey, maybe this change isn't so bad after all. A rare stillness had settled over the lounge deep within Twilight Valentine's factory. Velvet cushions had been lazily claimed, warm light orbs hovered in gentle patterns, and for once, just once, there were no urgent experiments or celestial duties calling the group to action. Velda Nava sprawled across a broad, throne-like couch, long legs stretched out, arms folded behind his head, midnight black hair gleaming in the gentle light. His signature grin never quite faded, playful and carefree as always. Across from him, Lumiel sat with cool composure, galaxy blue hair cascading down in shimmering waves, golden eyes half-lidded, as if perpetually caught between boredom and thought. Beside him lounged Orin, fidgeting and bouncing slightly on the cushions, while Myra sat with her usual serene grace, a calm presence that contrasted Orin's restless energy. Around them, their closest friends had gathered, Dino, leaning with practiced casualness against a nearby pillar, Pico, twirling strands of her silver-blonde hair and giggling softly, Garasha, arms crossed, her sharp golden eyes ever watchful, and Obera, standing with that effortless stillness, dark eyes deep as the void. Conversation flowed in lazy waves. So, Dino yawned, how much longer until Twilight spreads his little races fully? It's been, what, 1,000 years now? Velda Nava chuckled, voice light as air. He claims a few more centuries will do it. But honestly, it's all so boring lately. No wars, no cosmic disasters, not even a cheeky rebellion. Pico pouted. I think peace is nice. Garasha nodded. Though I must admit, it does grow monotonous. Orin stretched. I agree with Velda. It's too quiet. I want something exciting to fight already. Myra smirked faintly. Typical Orin. Oi. Orin shot back. At least I admit it. Lumiel sighed softly, voice cool and distant. Endless peace does erode the edge of the blade. Velda Nava grinned. Well said, Lumikun. Lumiel's golden gaze flickered with annoyance. Don't call me that. Who? Why not? Veldanava's grin widened mischievously. I've started, there's no going back now. Before Lumiel could retort, the heavy crystalline doors of the lounge swung open with a resonant hum. In strode Twilight Valentine, his dark robes flowing behind him like liquid night, eyes alight with an unsettling gleam. Velda Navasama, Twilight called, voice rich with amusement and purpose. I have something, most interesting to tell you. Velda Nava sat up instantly, eyes sparkling. Finally. Something interesting. What is it? Twilight clasped his hands behind his back. I've detected an unusual, massive surge of magicals centered around the ice continent. A pulse so intense, it drew even my attention. Velda Nava tilted his head. Oh, I did notice a strange fluctuation, but dismissed it. I thought it was your doing. Twilight smirked. Not this time. Velda Nava stood in a single smooth motion, stretching his arms. Well then, Lumikun, we're going to check it out. Lumiel exhaled slowly, rising with fluid grace. Stop calling me Lumikun. Velda Nava laughed. Nope, I call you that now. No changes. Lumiel sighed, resigned. Fine, let's go. Turning to Orin and Myra, Lumiel's gaze sharpened. You two, try not to give Twilight any more ridiculous ideas, understand? Orin grinned innocently. Who, me? Myra smiled serenely. Of course, Lumiel-sama. Twilight chuckled darkly. Now, Lumielkin, don't stop my beloved idea makers. Lumiel's voice dropped an octave, dangerously calm. Twilight, if you take another idea from them and create another species using my origin, I will burn this place to the ground. Twilight's grin widened. I'll try, no promises, ha 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 ha. You're a freak, Lumiel muttered. Twilight beamed. Why, thank you. Velda Nava clapped his hands. All right, enough chatting, come on, Lumikun. Lumiel spread his angelic wings, vast and shimmering with interwoven strands of starlight and void. The crystalline feathers refracted the lounge light into dazzling rainbows. Right behind you, he said coolly. Velda Nava grinned and leapt into the air. From his back burst forth light Saiyan dragon wings, grand, radiant constructs of pure energy and draconic might. They gleamed with every beat, casting long shadows against the factory walls. The two soared into the void, piercing through the dimensional folds that connected the factory to the wider world. The ice continent loomed below, an endless expanse of white and blue, frozen in eternal stillness. Mountains of jagged ice stabbed toward the heavens, rivers of glacial frost crawled across the land, their flow slower than time itself. As they descended, the air grew razor-sharp with cold, each breath like swallowing shards of crystal. The very space seemed brittle, fragile beneath the overwhelming presence of magicals saturating every molecule. Velda Nava hovered in the air, wings spread wide, surveying the landscape. Impressive, he said, voice carrying in the icy silence. But I'm disappointed in you, Lumikun. Lumiel, wings shimmering behind him, arched a brow. Oh, why is that? Velda Nava grinned. You didn't sense this sooner. You're slipping. Lumiel sighed. Perhaps I simply chose not to waste energy on anomalies that could have been your experiments. Touché, Velda Nava laughed. They pressed deeper into the heart of the continent. The magicals grew denser, forming a visible haze, a shimmering aurora of pale blue and white. At the very center of this storm lay a singular anomaly. A colossal egg rested amidst a natural basin of crystal ice, glowing faintly with inner light. Its shell was white as snow, patterned with frosted runes that seemed to shift and pulse with an ancient rhythm. Velda Nava and Lumiel alighted beside it, boots crunching softly upon the frozen ground. Velda Nava knelt, eyes gleaming with fascination. Well, now, what's an egg doing here? Lumiel folded his arms. How should I know? Velda Nava leaned closer, brushing frost from the shell. His expression shifted, light-hearted curiosity replaced by a rare look of reverence. Created by nature itself. An embodiment of coldness. Lumiel tilted his head slightly. So, what exactly is this egg? Velda Nava smiled, lifting the egg with effortless care. A new sibling of mine. Lumiel blinked, genuinely confused. Like, what? Velda Nava's grin widened. A true dragon. My lineage. Lumiel stared at him for a long moment. The concept was absurd, and yet, given Velda Nava's nature, entirely plausible. He exhaled softly. All right, can we go now? Velda Nava nodded cheerfully. Yeah, we can. With a flap of their wings, they ascended once more, leaving the frozen enigma behind, a new player waiting to hatch into the world. As they flew side by side across the vast, icy skies, Velda Nava glanced at Lumiel with a mischievous grin. You know, he said. I think I'll call this one Velzard. Lumiel sighed. Of course you will. And beneath the endless heavens, the two celestial beings soared, one carefree, one cold and calm, yet both bound by threads of friendship and fate. The deep resonant hum of spatial energy echoed through the factory's great hall as two celestial forms returned from the skies, Velda Nava and Lumiel, wings folding as they alighted softly upon the polished marble floor. Their arrival was swift, their presence commanding. Awaiting them in the lounge were the usual suspects, Oren sprawled over the couch with practiced arrogance, Myra sitting serenely beside him, her blindfolded gaze calm and cool. Nearby, Dino, Pico, Garasha, and Obara watched in varying degrees of curiosity, having sensed the strange magical stirrings during the pair's absence. Velda Nava carried a strange object, the large, frost-white egg, nestled carefully in his arms, a boyish grin plastered across his face. "Oi, everyone," Velda Nava called, voice bubbling with excitement. "Guess what we found?" Oren blinked. A giant snowball. Myra's lips curved faintly. An unusually shaped one. Garasha's golden gaze narrowed. An artifact. Obara tilted her head, fingers brushing her chin. A weapon. Dino yawned. "Looks like a really cold breakfast." Velda Nava laughed, utterly delighted. No. This is a true dragon's egg. My new sibling. Isn't that amazing?" For a long moment, silence reigned. Everyone exchanged glances, utterly lost. Oren was first to break it. "Wait, hold on. You're a god, right? The creator god. How are you getting a sibling out of a random egg?" Pico pouted. "Isn't that, impossible?" Garasha frowned. "Siblings, from nature. I don't understand." Obara crossed her arms. This explanation is insufficient. Even Lumiel, arms folded with a weary sigh, added his cool voice. "I told him the same. He's decided it's his sibling regardless." Velda Nava beamed, entirely unbothered by the collective confusion. "You mortals think too small. Nature itself can resonate with my lineage. This egg is a natural-born embodiment of cold, perfect for a true dragon. Therefore, my sibling." Dino rubbed the back of his head. "Still sounds like Velda Nava logic." Oren raised a brow. "So you're telling us the world itself is popping out dragon siblings for you?" Velda Nava nodded enthusiastically. "Exactly." Myra's smooth voice slid through the air. "And you truly believe this is something to celebrate?" Velda Nava grinned wider. "Of course. A family is wonderful. Right, Lumikun." Lumiel sighed. Stop calling me that." Velda Nava laughed merrily. "Never." Settling the egg gently upon a nest of conjured silk within a nearby crystalline basin, Velda Nava took a step back, admiring it like a child with a prized toy. The others gathered loosely around, still trying to comprehend the implications. "Now what?" Dino asked. Velda Nava shrugged. "We wait for the hatchling. She'll be magnificent." Lumiel narrowed his gaze. "You've already chosen a gender." "Of course." Velda Nava winked. "Her name will be Velzard." Everyone blinked again. Oren groaned. "This is beyond me." Myra simply gave an elegant shrug. "If he wishes it so, we may as well accept it." Pico giggled. "Velzard, that sounds pretty." Garasha huffed softly. "I suppose if a god decrees it." Obara remained still, dark gaze unreadable. Velda Nava turned, hands on hips. "See, everyone's coming around." Lumiel pinched the bridge of his nose, voice smooth yet exasperated. "You truly are impossible sometimes." "Why, thank you, Lumikun." Velda Nava sang. It was at that exact moment a subtle presence shifted behind Lumiel. Twilight Valentine, until now silent and watching from the shadows, leaned forward slightly. His voice was a whisper that seemed to glide across the air, just loud enough for all to hear. "There is another." The lounge froze. All eyes snapped toward him. Twilight's crimson gaze gleamed with intrigue. "I've detected a second similar pulse. This one, however, lies far to the south, amidst the volcanic regions. A resonance of flame and earth, another potential sibling." Veldanava's entire body jolted, eyes wide with sheer, unfiltered joy. "Another one." A childlike grin split his face. "Ha ha ha ha. I'm getting another sibling." The others exchanged even more bewildered looks. Oren scratched his head. "Okay, is this going to keep happening?" Myra sighed. "Apparently, the world is now Veldanava's nursery." Garasha muttered, "I truly do not comprehend this." Pico giggled nervously. "Me neither, but he seems happy." Dino snorted. "Well, guess that's one way to spice things up." Obara, ever calm, spoke coolly. "An odd fate, indeed." Veldanava, now practically vibrating with excitement, turned on his heel and pointed at Lumiel. "Lumikun, we're going. Now." Lumiel exhaled, folding his arms. "Why must I be dragged into this?" "Because you're my friend. And I need someone sensible with me. Come on." Veldanava grinned, grabbing Lumiel's wrist before he could protest. Velda-san. Lumiel's voice trailed off in a half-hearted complaint as he was unceremoniously pulled toward the exit. Behind them, the others simply watched as the Creator God, supreme being of all things, dragged the galaxy-haired angel along like an overexcited child. Obera shook her head. Our Lord is unique. Garasha smirked faintly. An understatement. Pico laughed. Good luck, Lumiel. Dino crossed his arms. Well, at least it won't be boring anymore. And with that, wings burst forth once more, Veldanava's light Saiyan dragon wings blazing brilliantly, and Lumiel's angelic wings shimmering coldly. Together they vanished into the sky, toward the fiery southern lands, where yet another enigma awaited. The volcanic winds howled across the molten landscape like the breaths of slumbering titans. The air shimmered with suffocating heat, waves of crimson light pulsing from deep fissures beneath jagged black rocks. The southern volcanic continent was a land few dared to tread, an unforgiving cradle of flame. Yet two radiant figures descended through the smoke-laden skies as if the searing heat was no more than a gentle breeze. Veldanava, his light Saiyan dragon wings glowing bright against the gloom, dove joyously ahead. Behind him, Lumiel followed in measured flight, his expansive galaxy-blue angel wings unfurling with effortless grace. Cold starlight trailed in his wake, contrasting starkly against the molten earth below. You're enjoying this far too much, Velda-san, Lumiel called out, voice carrying a wry edge. Veldanava laughed, spinning midair. Of course I am. Another sibling. Do you know how rare this is, Lumikun? Lumiel sighed, expression impassive. You've said that 4 times since we left. And I'll say it again. Veldanava grinned. Besides, I want you here to witness this moment. It's fate. I suspect it's more that you want someone to play along with your whims. You wound me. Veldanava pouted theatrically, then darted lower. Come on. The signal's stronger now. Lumiel followed silently, his golden eyes narrowing. Through the dense columns of smoke and embers, a singular pulse of magicalse resonated beneath the heart of the volcano, deep and vibrant, like a heartbeat of the world itself. They finally landed upon a jagged obsidian outcrop overlooking a vast lava basin. In its center, upon a platform of naturally formed basalt, rested a massive egg, radiant with molten hues of red and gold. The shell gleamed like polished ruby, its surface etched with faint lines that seemed to pulse in rhythm with the earth. There it is. Veldanava cheered, eyes shining. Lumiel observed it with cool detachment. An embodiment of flame this time, another true dragon. Of course. Veldanava beamed. A sibling for Velzard. Lumiel folded his arms. You really are collecting them now. Don't be jealous, Lumikun, Veldanava teased, landing gracefully beside the egg. Lumiel descended after him, boots touching down with a soft hiss upon the heated stone. Despite the searing environment, neither showed discomfort. Resistances and nullifications born of their divine nature rendered the flames harmless. Yet as Veldanava approached the egg, he abruptly halted, spinning with a mischievous grin. Wait. Lumiel arched a brow. What now? Veldanava pointed a playful finger. Let's play a game. A game? Yes. Before we can touch the egg, we must guess her name. Lumiel stared, unblinking. You're making this up. Veldanava winked. Of course I am. But it's tradition now. 8 guesses each, come on. Lumiel sighed, but there was a faint sparkle in his eyes. You truly are impossible. That's why you like me. Debatable. Veldanava laughed and gestured grandly. You first, Lumikun. With a slow breath, Lumiel regarded the fiery egg, its pulsing light reflected in his golden eyes. Ignara. Veldanava shook his head. Nope. My turn, Flamara. Lumiel deadpanned. You can do better. HMPH. Your second guess. Pyra. Wrong. Blazara. Lumiel resisted the urge to roll his eyes. Solmara. Nope. Ignis. Lumiel exhaled softly. Fira. Wrong again. Cinderless. Veldanava grinned. Sarathra. Nope. Emberus. Lumiel paused, tilting his head slightly. Velra. Veldanava beamed. Close. But no. Lumiel arched a brow. You already know the name, don't you? Of course. Veldanava laughed. But the game is fun. Lumiel sighed. Very well. One more, Scarlia. Veldanava clapped. Good try, Lumikun. But wrong again. Now, my final guess. He approached the egg with reverence, voice lowering into a gentle murmur. Velgrind. A soft resonant pulse echoed from the egg, as if in acknowledgement. Lumiel blinked. You already chose a gender again. Velda Nava turned, eyes twinkling. Of course. I am their elder brother. I know them already. Lumiel rubbed his temple. You truly are a troublesome elder brother. Thank you. Velda Nava laughed. Without hesitation, he reached forward and carefully lifted the Velgrind egg into his arms, cradling it with surprising tenderness. The egg glowed faintly beneath his touch, as if recognizing its new guardian. Well then, Velda Nava turned toward Lumiel, wings spreading. Time to bring her home. Back to the factory. Lumiel asked. Of course. We must place her beside Velzard, family should be together. Lumiel gave a soft sigh, though a faint smile tugged at his lips. As you wish, Velda-san. With a single graceful motion, Lumiel spread his galaxy-hued wings, light scattering like a field of stars. Veldanava's dragon wings unfurled in brilliant arcs of light. Together, they rose into the ash-laden sky, cutting through the molten haze like twin comets. Their flight across the continents was swift, a radiant streak across the heavens. The volcanic lands soon vanished beneath them, replaced by the emerald forests and crystalline peaks near the factory. As they approached, Veldanava hummed a cheerful tune, egg held close. You do realize, Lumiel said softly beside him, that no one else understands your reasoning. Veldanava grinned. That's fine, they'll see soon enough. Lumiel shook his head, gaze softening. You're incorrigible. I prefer the term, visionary, Lumikun. Lumiel sighed again. Stop calling me that. Nope. Their laughter echoed together through the sky. Back within the Twilight Valentine factory, the great crystalline lounge awaited. The Velzard egg rested upon its silk nest, pulsing with serene cold light. Velda Nava landed gracefully, Lumiel alighting beside him. Now, Velda Nava whispered with reverence, placing Velgrind's egg carefully beside Velzard's. Together at last. The twin eggs shimmered softly, as if acknowledging each other. Behind them, unnoticed by all but Lumiel, Twilight Valentine stood silently in the shadows. His crimson gaze gleamed faintly. And so it begins, he murmured softly, a faint smile playing upon his lips. Another pulse, far to the west, had stirred. But for now, Veldanava gazed upon the eggs with a smile that was pure and joyful. His family was growing. And Lumiel, simply sighed, arms folded. You really are an impossible elder brother. Velda Nava winked. I know. FEW hours later . The air inside Twilight Valentine's factory still shimmered faintly from the arrival of the Velgrind egg. Two dragon eggs now rested side by side in the crystalline lounge, cold and fire pulsing together in a strange, beautiful harmony. Velda Nava stood proudly before them, arms crossed, wearing the wide grin of a child who had just acquired a new toy. Lumiel hovered slightly behind him, arms folded, expression cool but faintly amused. Across the lounge, Orin, Myra, Dino, Pico, Garasha, and Obera watched the scene unfold. None of them quite understood what Veldanava was up to, collecting siblings, but the growing number of massive eggs made even the normally composed Obera raise an eyebrow. It was in this brief moment of calm that a quiet presence appeared behind Lumiel. A soft tap on his shoulder. Lumiel turned his head to see Twilight Valentine, crimson eye glowing with that familiar conspiratorial light. I have something to tell you, Twilight whispered, leaning in. Lumiel's eyes narrowed. Not again. Twilight's smile widened. I detected another one. Very far west, beyond the storming highlands, near the ancient craters. Massive magical signature. Lumiel pressed his fingers to the bridge of his nose. You've got to be kidding me. That drew immediate attention from the others. Orin blinked. Another one. Myra tilted her head, voice as calm as ever. I suppose the world is rather generous today. Dino grinned. 3 eggs, huh? Now this is starting to get interesting. Garasha smirked. Or out of control. Pico clasped her hands together. Will it be a boy or girl this time? Obera simply exhaled. I'm not sure how to process this anymore. But it was Veldanava who reacted the most energetically. He spun toward Lumiel, eyes alight with excitement. Another one. Lumikun. Another sibling. He cheered. Stop calling me Lumikun, Lumiel muttered under his breath. Veldanava ignored him entirely. Come on, we must go. I can't miss this one. You're seriously going for a third egg? Lumiel asked flatly. Of course. This is destiny. Velda Nava beamed. Now, come, Lumikun. Don't make me drag you. Lumiel sighed, knowing there was no escape. Fine. As Veldanava's wings flared, the light Saiyan dragon wings glowing bright once more, Lumiel spread his own galaxy blue wings and rose alongside him. Race you. Veldanava laughed, shooting skyward. You're insufferable, Lumiel muttered, following. Behind them, Twilight Valentine stood with his ever-present smile. Oh yes, this will be the last one. Probably. Their flight took them far west, beyond verdant forests and glistening rivers, over storm-ravaged highlands where lightning danced eternally in the clouds. The skies grew dark as they approached the ancient volcanic craters. A violent storm churned around the target area. Jagged arcs of lightning split the heavens, winds howling with unnatural force. Below, amidst shattered rock and spiraling winds, a massive black egg rested in a deep crater, surrounded by an aura of raw chaos. Both Veldanava and Lumiel hovered in the air, gazing down. Well, Veldanava whistled, this one's a feisty one. Lumiel's eyes narrowed. That much magicals, it's more chaotic than the last two. Veldanava grinned. Perfect. A storm sibling. He began to descend but stopped abruptly, turning to Lumiel with a mischievous glint. Game time. Veldanava declared. Lumiel crossed his arms. No. Veldanava pouted. Lumiel's gaze didn't waver. No games this time. His name is Veldora. That's all. Veldanava blinked. You already chose a name. Lumiel sighed. You're getting predictable, Veldasan. Ice, fire, obviously storm was next. And Veldora fits. Veldanava let out a dramatic groan. You're too cruel. I had names prepared this time. Lumiel gave him a flat look. I'm saving us time. Fine. Veldanava threw up his hands. You win, but at least let me pick the gender. Lumiel glanced at the egg, swirling with chaotic magicals. Let me guess. A boy. Veldanava beamed. Energetic one at that. I can feel it. Lumiel exhaled. You truly are an impossible elder brother. Veldanava laughed. I know. With a calm step forward, this time it was Lumiel who approached the egg. Lightning crackled around him, but his barriers absorbed it with ease. The winds parted before his presence as he knelt beside the egg, cool golden eyes observing its swirling patterns. Slowly, with delicate hands, Lumiel lifted the Veldora egg, holding it close. I suppose I'm carrying this one, he murmured. Veldanava floated down beside him, grinning. How cute. You look like a proper elder brother now too. Don't push it. Their return flight was swift. Upon landing in the factory once more, Lumiel carefully set the Veldora egg beside the others. Now 3 massive eggs pulsed in a strange, primal harmony, Velzard, Velgrind, and now Veldora. The others gathered quickly, eyes wide. This one's bigger, Dino remarked. And more chaotic, Garasha added, arms crossed. I can feel it, Obara said softly. This one won't be easy to manage. Orin leaned toward Myra. I like this one. He feels wild. Myra gave a serene smile. Perhaps you see yourself in him. Orin pouted. Do not. Pico clapped her hands in delight. He's adorable already. Lumiel turned to Twilight Valentine, voice cool. You said this was the last one. Twilight nodded, a faint smile upon his lips. Confirmed. I've scanned every continent, no other such signatures remain. Lumiel exhaled softly. Good. Veldanava clapped his hands together joyfully. I can't wait to see my little siblings. He gazed upon the 3 eggs with pure affection, eyes shining. I'll teach them everything. I'll be the best elder brother ever. He declared. Lumiel folded his arms. Just try not to spoil them too much. No promises. Veldanava laughed. The others exchanged glances, still trying to understand how a god of creation had suddenly decided to become an overenthusiastic big brother. But as always, they followed along with quiet amusement. == TOB continued ==